Hello, folks. Live.
Yeah.
What up?
What up? What up? What up? Episode 142?
Something like that.
Something like that. See that we're both rocking the Philadelphia Flyers, the hockey team in Philadelphia.
What a nightmare.
What do you mean?
What a nightmare.
What?
Well, I ordered my
Oh.
China jerseys, and I paid like $60 for shipping to get them here, and the guy sent them to the wrong address. So
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
our hopefully I got a Kraken jersey too, but I didn't pay for the expedited shipping on that one. I got a Konechny for the old lady. I got a Drysdale and a Bobby Brink for me, and they're in New York. So congrats to somebody wherever it is that got delivered in New York. The guy's supposed to be giving me a refund, but he keeps denying my dispute on DHgate, and he keeps saying, "Friend, I will give refund. Please cancel dispute." I'm like, "Well, how about you just pay me my money?"
Yeah, you lost. That's an L. That's an L.
Yeah, he wants to give me the replacements. I'm like, I don't want replacements. I'm going to go to one game this year.
Terrible.
But luckily, unfortunately, Rally House did not have any regular human-sized jerseys for the outdoor game. They didn't even have any like real, like newer, because the Flyers changed their jerseys from the 1970s and 80s to a more modern look with a different orange this year.
Right.
And they only had like a couple at Rally House, and then I bought the hats, but I went next door to Dick's. Luckily, Dick's Sporting Goods was right next door to Rally House where I was, and Dick's as soon as you walk in, they had the Stadium Series jersey, so I'm excited. You got to wait till like March 5th to get these on Fanatics, so luckily I was able to get them in the flesh. $25 more at Dick's than they were at Rally House, but hey, whatever. I can always return it.
That's a W across the board. That's what I heard. Very clutch by Rally House. Or no, excuse me, Dick's.
Yeah, Rally House had the hats though, which were pretty sweet. The Dick's Sporting Goods that I went to was like completely renovated though. It looks beautiful inside.
Isn't that? I don't know about against the law, but isn't that competition too close if it's right next door?
You would think so. I guess the Better Business Bureau doesn't consider them the same thing. I guess sporting goods and like fan apparel are different, even though that you can buy some of the same things at both. But you're not going into like Rally House for like a tennis racket.
So like a Mitchell and Ness versus a Dick's Sporting Goods could be next to each other.
I guess technically.
I mean, if someone has the better deal, that's where I'm going. Or if it's actually available, I'm going there.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to find it. So crisis averted. I don't have to. I only have one Flyers jersey in my house, and it's signed. And I don't mind wearing it to like the indoor arena. But if it rains or snows where we are, it would suck to have the ink kind of come off.
It might snow, I think.
That'd be cool.
That would
supposed to be like, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be like 30 degrees on Saturday.
I'll be so used to it. As I say that now, and then we'll flash forward. I'm like, oh, it's fucking cold.
Yeah,
well,
Saturday.
The person working at the airport during the wintertime, it's kind of like over the years. It's
supposed to snow in the morning on Saturday.
We'll be fine.
Up until about 6, and then it's gonna be cloudy. It's gonna be a high of 37, low of 26.
Wait.
I'm kind of used to it. I drive with no heat in my car anyway, so I know you work outside, so you're kind of like.
I'll be layered. I'll be good.
You're a bear. I'm a squirrel. So at this point,
yeah, right.
I'm gonna you're used to the outdoors. I'm kind of not.
And I think is your buddy Zach going?
Yeah, he'll be there.
He's an actual bear. That dude's a big unit there. Pause. But
I think he's going to Penn versus Princeton the night before too, so he might even be hungover by the time we see him.
We'll just crowd around him. He's a big ball of energy there.
If we can handle this, we can handle WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is going to be in April. And the link I think is a little bit better with the wind versus, especially if we get seats that aren't like a gorilla position, I guess, because depending on how much we want to pay, we might have to sit. We might just have to either be backstage. But if we get we have decent seats for this game. I'm pretty excited about this. We got like end zone seats for this, but we're off to like the side. We're near like the pylons.
To see the
and we're next to the stage for the Jonas Brothers.
Dude, I had no idea that was part of the gig.
I didn't realize it was like a pretty legit. They're gonna have like an hour long performance. I thought it was like one of those deals where they just come out, they do like 2 songs, and then they play like an instrumental as the players walk out. And they're like,
right,
please welcome the Flyers, as they're playing some song. But it turns out they're doing like an hour and a half. I think they start at 6, and I would imagine warm-ups for an 8 o'clock game probably start at 7:30, and then they come out and they Zamboni, and then they do the intros and everything.
I wonder if any of the Jonas Brothers has any stake in any of the teams. Like, why them of all people?
Well, are they from Jersey?
I don't know.
Because they were part of the jersey reveal for the Devil Stadium series. Well, not the reveal, but they modeled them
really.
I guess we could find out real quick.
That's weird.
Jonas Brothers are from Atlantic City, New Jersey.
No fucking shot.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Dude. If they
Yeah,
were,
they're from.
it's a bad
They're
advertising for myself.
they're from. I don't know if pronounced. I'm not pronouncing it right. It's either Wyckoff or Wyckoff.
Oh, Wyckoff. Yeah, yeah.
Is that? I'm guessing that's North Jersey.
That's I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from North Jersey.
Yeah, that's in Bergen County.
Oh yeah, that's basically close to where I went to college up there.
Oh, that's not far from New York.
It's not.
Yeah, that makes sense because
They
I mean, Meth
practically
Life is
live
only.
themselves at New York.
So the good thing about Meth Life is it's kind of the New York drive, but it's without the half hour of sitting in traffic to get into New York. So
Right.
as long as we leave it a decent enough time, have you been there before?
To Meth Life?
Yeah.
No, I've driven past it many
Oh,
times.
it's a fucking dump. I've been there twice. I kind of like the old timey stadiums. I think I talked about this
Are you talking
when
about
I
the
talked
stadium
about.
itself or the area around it?
Well,
Or
both. Well, there's a casino right there, so of course it's being built up. But I've been there. I've been there twice. I think I talked about this when I briefly
Sorry to hear
spoke
that.
about the. Yeah. Both times I went, the team I was rooting for lost. So.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I went to Jets and Browns. I think I told the story on the pod before. Zach and I went to Jets Browns in 2019, and it was like the second Monday night game of the season. Like in general, it was like week 2. As we're walking in the stadium, Trevor Siemian, who was starting the game in place of Sam Darnold, who had mononucleosis, Siemian just snapped his leg. We're walking into the stadium. This dude's getting carted out. We got there an hour early, and it took us like an hour and 20 minutes to find parking because none of the parking. I was telling you, the parking lots, whatever the situation was, you needed like a pass, and there was like one cash lot that we had to find, and we had to park like 5 stories up, and then walk all the way down, and then take this bridge across to the stadium. So we could see the fireworks going off either during intros or kickoff or whatever.
Right.
As we're walking in the stadium, Odell Beckham makes a one-handed catch or something, and then as we're like walking through the stadium, we're like, "What the heck happened? Why is that Luke Falk?" And Trevor Siemian's like leg is just snapped. It was Le'Veon's, I think, home debut as a Jet. It was pretty cool. It was an exciting game, and then like maybe a week or 2 before COVID shut the world down, he and I went to an XFL game there, and we had really good seats. We were in like the 8th row behind the end zone, and we were the only 2 people that had like actual names on our jerseys. We both had Aaron Murray jerseys for the Tampa Bay Vipers, but they were the away team, so we got booed going down to the seats. It was actually kind of fun. But the parking situation is a nightmare.
I'm not looking forward to that.
I like the old timey state. It reminded me of the Vet because it's just a giant. It's a
bowl.
toilet bowl basically. Yeah, and it was kind of like I think I talked about this briefly, but when we went to Oakland, I kind of felt like an old timey feel there. They actually in Oakland still have those long urinals, like the community urinals.
No shot.
Like the long tub. Yeah.
There's no separation. You're just like right next to each other.
Yeah, They definitely don't have that at MetLife, but the long thing is kind of what they had at the Spectrum and at the what's it called, the Vet.
Imagine trying to squeeze in between 2 behemoths. Like, yo, I gotta piss, dude. Like,
Yeah, wearing the wrong team's colors.
That too.
Yeah, that Jets game was tough. I had a hoodie on underneath my jersey. It was like 75 degrees outside. It was so hot.
Oh, that's a bad move right there.
Yeah. I think I had my Robbie Anderson jersey for that one.
Robbie.
I think he had the Brett Favre Jets jersey. So that was fun.
Well,
Thinking about Riley Towns too.
I'm
yeah, this is gonna be
excited
fun.
to see, Meth Life, and for those who are listening, we know it's not called Meth Life. It's just fun to say Meth Life, and it is. I mean, it's a shithole apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's actually not terrible once you get it. I mean, people hate old stadiums, but it's not bad.
I can't believe we're old enough to say that that's an old stadium. I remember when it was brand new.
It was open in what, 02?
Really?
Somewhere around there. I think it was 02, 03, around that time.
Dude, I'm very old.
Yeah.
I spelled Meth Life like an idiot.
Because didn't they play in a place that was called like Giant Stadium or something before that?
This is not right. This says it's open in 1976.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one too. Oh, Giant Stadium was open in 1976, closed in 2010. There's no way MetLife opened in 2010.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was recent.
Why did MetLife? Oh, MetLife redirected me to this.
Dude, I searched up MetLife Stadium, and it comes up. Opened October 10th, 1976. Played its last game in 2010.
This opened in 2010. It was built from 08 to 2010. It opened April 10th, 2010, 13 years ago. I bet you it was a Billy Joel concert.
Bon Jovi, how dare you?
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
I think Billy Joel was the final concert at Shea.
Speaking of Shea,
Notable events.
we
See
have
what
to
the
get to
first event
Queens.
was.
Gotta get to Queens at some point.
What the fuck? You gotta be kidding me. The first event held at the stadium was the Big City Classic Lacrosse event. Let's see if we have the soundboard working for that one.
What?
September
Apropos.
12th, 2010, Giants hosted the first NFL regular season game. Jets played their first game there the next day. That was actually, I think, that until this year, that was the last time both teams played on Sunday night and Monday night consecutively as well.
Hopefully.
There was a power outage that year. The Miracle at the Meadowlands, of course, was there. But yeah, for anybody listening that's wondering, well, we will be attending the NHL Stadium Series, Flyers and Devils on Saturday, February 17th, the birthday of my co-host.
Yeah.
So a happy almost birthday to you.
Thank you.
25 and some tax.
Very much so. A lot of tax on that.
It'll be fun. I'm very much looking forward to this. Flyers Devils. We'll if we have time, we'll maybe talk about the game. Flyers are playing the Maple Leafs tonight. I believe the Devils are playing tonight as well. Pretty sure the Flyers play the Devils tomorrow. Or no, they play them April 15th, I think it is. Every time you look up the Flyers on Ticketmaster, it shows Flyers. Or every time I look up Devils on Ticketmaster, it shows me Flyers Devils like 3 months from now. The Devils host the Kings tonight.
Okay, I see that. Yeah. And then
Devils are winners of their last 2, winners of 3 of their last 5. They just beat Nashville and Seattle back-to-back Monday, Tuesday. The Flyers, I think, are undefeated out of the break since the All-Star break ended. I think they're 4-0.
This is sort of a neutral site, but it's not since it's in Jersey. So
yeah, technically, well, the next day they play Rangers Islanders there.
Now that's a neutral,
which is not out of the ordinary. The first time they did Stadium Series, so the NHL has done the Winter Classic and the Heritage Classic. The Heritage Classic originally was in 2003.
Yeah,
that was Edmonton and Montreal, I think. That was played outdoors. It was like -20 outside. The first Winter Classic was New Year's Day 2008. That was Buffalo Pittsburgh at the old Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Yeah.
The next year was at Wrigley. The Red Wings blew out the Blackhawks, and then 2010 the Flyers played at Fenway. In 2014, I believe the NHL introduced the Stadium Series in addition to Winter Classic. The Winter Classic, they would wear pretty cool like old uniforms. Stadium Series, they went for a modern kind of remix look, which is why the Flyers ones are kind of the way they are.
Like inverted.
Yeah, and the big numbers too. That's why if you see the black Flyers jersey, the numbers are so big. Because you're in a stadium, you need bigger numbers to see who's playing.
Right.
But the Flyers played in Pittsburgh, I think in 2016, and then they played against the Penguins here in 2018 or 17, I want to say. And those were I had big FOMO with that last one at the link, so I'm glad we're going to this one. This will be fun.
One where Giroux?
Yeah, Giroux was Wayne Simmons' final game as a Flyer too.
Damn.
But 2014, I know we're boring people to death here, but the Yankee Stadium, I believe, played host to, I think it was 2 games. I think it was Rangers Islanders and Rangers Devils played at Yankee Stadium in the span of like 3 days. So
a true Subway Series.
Yeah. So this is not out of the ordinary for the NHL. They like to recycle the same. I'm pretty sure Wrigley's getting another Winter Classic next year too. By the way,
I think this is my 3rd, maybe 4th hockey game in general, professional hockey. Excuse me.
They're fun.
I went to the Prudential Center. Well, when I was
really?
in college with 2 of what you call it, college roommates or friends in college.
The Rock, right? That's what the place is called.
I don't know.
I think they call it the Rock. I forget. It might be
the
different.
Prudential Center, but I don't know
the Prudential Center. It's right off of the. It's right across from the subway, right?
I didn't really get. Honestly, I didn't get much to see. I just went on a whim with them because they're Devils fans, so
yeah.
I forgot what team it was, but I remember that was my very first hockey game, dude. Nothing. I've never experienced anything like that. Jersey Devils game. I don't know who they're facing, but when I saw 2 chicks start yelling at each other with like rhinestone jeans, black gothic hair, and then they're just swinging at each other, I'm like, and they're both Devil fans. I'm like, what is going on here?
Imagine Flyers Penguins back in the day.
Oof.
Yeah, there were fights on the concourse frequently at Flyers Penguins games and Flyers Rangers games.
To be honest,
I don't know if the fans are still that crazy. The tickets are so much more expensive now that It wouldn't surprise me if the fights are just like non-existent.
I think it's been 3 total. This would be my 4th. Two
Okay.
out of 3 have been fights. The last one I went was with you and your wife and her friend. There was no fights that I can remember. Maybe an
Yeah,
argument in the
we didn't
concourse.
really go to the concourse anyway for that one. We kind of just went to the
I
seats
did,
and hung out there. Oh, that's right.
and then my
Yeah,
food got stolen.
the donuts disappeared.
Right,
Did
Federal
you go to
Donuts.
another one at Prudential Center in between there?
Nah, it was just Prudential Center. I think 2 at the Wells Fargo.
Okay. Wells Fargo Center, they do it pretty well. I like they just put in new seats the last couple of years, so it's a little bit more comfortable than it was before.
Where we were was
Th-
very comfortable. Great
Yeah,
seats.
there's really no bad seats in that place for a hockey game. For a basketball game, kind of similar. You can sit if you're too low for a basketball game. I think sometimes you can't see. Like if you're behind the basket in those little high-rise sections that aren't actually seats,
You get the basket.
then it's kind of hard to see. But when you're in a hockey game, there's almost no bad seat in the building. And we had a great spot too. We got those tickets for free, so
Fast forward.
we're in a good
to
spot for
my
this
flight.
one.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're in row 2 in the end zone, essentially, like right where the back pylon is. So
I'm
this will
excited.
be fun.
And it's obviously my first outdoors hockey game, so very exciting. Cross that off.
Yeah,
the
I'm
bucket
excited.
list.
I'm really excited for this. Flyers. This is the 5th Flyers outdoor game. I think they're 2-2. I'm sorry, no, they're 1-3. They lost in Fenway 2-1 in overtime in 2010 on New Year's Day. They lost on January 2nd, 2012 against the Rangers here at Citizens Bank Park. I was at both of those. And then they lost. I don't know the exact dates. I think it was 16 and 18 or 15 and 17. They played against the Penguins out there, and then here, their only outdoor win is against the Penguins in overtime here. So hopefully they can get off the schneid. Hopefully they can catch the Devils. Devils have not been great this year. The Flyers are kind of cruising, but a lot of people expect them to come back down to earth.
Thought they did
We'll see.
already.
Yeah, they did a little bit, but they're surging again, and I don't know. It'll be fun.
They might surge now that we have oh, forgive me, his name. Give me a second. Sean Coutier as the
Oh,
captain.
Flyers just scored.
And look at that, and they just scored, as I mentioned. Sean,
Travis Sanheim, who's on my fantasy team,
sadly, you didn't put the 50% boost on DK
put on a different Travis.
for the gift, too. Goal in the first period, intermission, whatever it is.
We did get a gift in this game. We're 8 minutes in.
But yeah, Sean Coutier is the new Flyers
Yep.
captain, so that could also, get this team ascending. I think we're dogs tonight in Toronto.
Yeah,
so
in Toronto they're plus 1.5. They're pretty close to even. I think Sean Couturier is the longest tenured Philadelphia athlete now. I would have to double check that. I think he's been here longer than Brandon Graham.
no shot.
I think he might be. He was drafted in 2010. He was I believe the 4th overall pick or the 6th overall pick.
Yeah.
Sean Couturier was acquired essentially for Jeff Carter. Jeff Carter was traded to Columbus in exchange for a first and a third. That first round pick ended up being Sean Couturier. I think the third ended up being Nick Cousins.
2011.
2011. You're right.
He was
So
the
Brandon Graham hasn't beat by a year, I think.
8th overall pick.
Yeah, so I think Brandon Graham's going to beat by a year. I think Andy drafted him in 10.
Let me see. Real
And if
quick.
I'm wrong, I won't be surprised. But
He
there's no
was-
Sixers that have been here that
2010.
long.
2010. So by a year.
The longest tenured Sixer would be Embiid, right? He's 14.
Yeah.
And then it was the only Sixer that's been here more than like 20 minutes. And
I think he's the league process Sixer as well left.
yeah, I think JT Realmuto is now or Aaron Nola is the longest tenured Philly now.
Yeah, he got a
And then
contract
JT,
for
I
it.
think, is second.
JT's
And
JT second's crazy.
and what's it, Graham? And
No, can't be JT. Wasn't it Bryce?
I think JT was acquired before Bryce. Because I think we just
Oh.
passed the anniversary of JT being traded for, and Bryce didn't sign until like the end of February.
And I was just thinking that I misremembered. 'Cause I remember it was a big thing for Bryce saying we need to get JT, but I think
Yeah,
it was
he
the
would-
contract extension.
Yeah, he was a
JT.
free agent, so I guess technically he didn't go anywhere else in between, but he was a free agent at one point.
Mm. All right.
But
Well-
and I think aside from BG, it's then it's Cox and Lane, right? Or Kelsey probably.
Kelsey for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Kelsey or BG. I guess they might have been the same draft.
You know who else is out? Vince McMahon, baby. This will be the first WrestleMania without him.
Yeah,
Let that sink in.
this will be the first Stadium Series without him too.
It'll be the first NBA Finals without him. First World Series later in the year. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, Vince
of
McMahon
firsts.
will be joining Chris Benoit in Hell.
Hey, we
All
went
right, let's
there.
jump in.
We went
Um,
there. All right.
we'll circle back to Shankaturi in a minute, but
Yeah, for
so I
sure.
want to get your take on the Chiefs. First of all, we want to wish. I mean, they're not listening, but we want to give our condolences to those affected by the heinous events at the Chiefs parade.
Oh yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, there was that shooting there. I think it was 3 people. I didn't read the details. Apparently, more details were supposed to come out at like 1 o'clock today. But I think it was 3 people, and I believe 12 were impacted or something like that, or 12 were in critical or in hospitals or something. One person passed away. The young lady that died was actually a radio DJ in Kansas City and was a huge Chiefs fan. So
Oh
that's gotta
Jesus.
suck. So very unfortunate. I hope this isn't the end of parades going forward. Hopefully not anyway, because Super Bowl parades and Stanley Cup parades and all these things are really big moments for the city.
All
But
right.
I understand there's really no safety measures taken at these things. So nothing was stopping these people from shooting in the direction of the players and the coaches either. So
Right.
maybe going forward we get a little bit more safety measures taken, but I don't know what they can't really put metal detectors at these things. So
Oh no, this is open field here. They
yeah,
probably would
this is
do.
but it's very unfortunate.
They would probably do a. Well, this came about very quickly because the Super Bowl obviously was on Sunday,
Yeah,
and I
this was
believe
what, yesterday.
yeah yesterday Wednesday. So, I mean, obviously you would have city planning and all that days in advance or the week of the Super Bowl leading up to it. That if we were to get a parade, this is what's going to happen logistically, right? Um,
Yeah,
you might have to do a Pope style parade where you're in a glass kind of covered environment like
yeah,
vehicle that's bulletproof just for
I
the
wouldn't be
player safety,
surprised. Yeah,
but that still doesn't solve the other issue of casualties within the people itself.
yeah, well, they don't care about the regular people. They care about the famous folks.
Imagine if Mahomes, oof,
Well, I was saying
oof.
that to somebody at work today. I mean, that dude's worth billions. Imagine, they might not care that 3 or 4 fans got shot and somebody's in critical condition that no one's ever heard of, but
All right.
God forbid, a bullet strikes Jason, or not Jason Kelsey. Well, hope it better not strike him, but strikes Travis Kelsey, or God forbid, the blonde Satanist was there. They would shut down parades forever if
How about
Taylor
Big
Swift got hit
Red?
with a bullet.
Dude, if
Big
it,
Red would, I think Big Red would be fine. For some reason, I feel like he's impervious to
he would
like
take the blast.
pain.
Whatever.
I mean, he was not phased when Travis was getting in his face the other day. By the way, if Travis Kelsey ever does that again, he will be hearing from me. You did not disrespect Big Red
Never, dude. I
scumbag.
did. What did you make of it
And
when you saw that in real time? I'm sure.
I
I
actually
assume
didn't
you
see it
watched
in
it.
real time. I didn't
Ah,
see it until AJ Brown's Twitter got hacked and he tweeted about it.
what do you
Somebody
mean?
tweeted from his account and said if that was me, I'd get kicked out of the league. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I saw the
Yeesh.
replay of it. I think that was the play. Was that the play that Mahomes got intercepted, or was that the fumble from Pacheco?
I don't know. I was working at the time, and I didn't see it until after the Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
apparently, this was in.
It might have been the play that Pacheco fumbled. I think because Kelsey was pissed he wasn't on the field to block.
Yeah, he was taken out of the game
Yeah, he was on the
for
sideline.
whatever
And then
reason.
the next series, as soon as they showed the replay, Kelsey was also not on the field for the first play. There was like a catch, and it was like Noah Gray, and Nance's like, "What a catch by Kelsey! Oh, that's Noah Gray."
That wasn't
Romo chimed in,
that.
"Jam,
That wasn't the only. Oh yeah, Tony Romo's gonna
jam."
get. Tony Romo is becoming a bad second man in the booth there. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, it's a
But that
shame we
wasn't
don't
the
live in the
only,
UK
isn't it?
because the Chris Fowler call would have been great.
I heard your Tuesday 10. By the way, it's on
Thank you.
Tuesdays. Everybody on the same network here. You can get it anywhere. Tuesday 10. It was a great listen.
Usually available first thing in the morning Wednesdays because I'm lazy, but this time it was available at like 9:30 on a Tuesday.
Right. I do want to hear the Chris Fowler. I have it in my notes because when I did listen to it, I
Yeah,
take notes to remember things. I do
he's
want to listen
fantastic.
to it on YouTube, but I was gonna say that Kelsey and Reed wasn't the only blow up in the sidelines for the Chiefs. If you
Oh, yeah, there were a
recall,
couple, weren't they?
Mahomes and Rasheed Rice got into it, where John Boy had to even break it down,
Oh,
and
really? I didn't see this.
basically was like, hey motherfucker," because basically he either didn't throw him the
I own
ball.
you.
I guess because he didn't throw him the ball right away or threw it away. Thing is, the snap was low. Is basically what Mahomes was saying. Hey, motherfucker, the ball was thrown low. I had to catch it. And Rasheed Rice was like,
She Wallace would have shot him on the sideline if
Rasheed
that.
Wallace would have fucking handled him right there, like what was it, Bryce Harper and Papelbon type, right
Oh,
there,
Pavlovon, yeah.
right there into the tent, right into concussion protocol.
Yeah, they would have just pushed him right into the tent.
No, but Rasheed Rice basically was saying, "All right, let's hear about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see about it. Whatever." And then very next like series, fed him the ball. And Rasheed Rice, as you mentioned on the Tuesday time, only on Tuesdays. You can listen on Wednesdays. That he's gonna be a star, and
You can listen on a Thursday too if you really want to.
you can listen on any day actually, right here on the PA Turnpod Network.
Just understand if I say today, yesterday, tomorrow, it's referring to that
Exactly.
current Tuesday.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's right now, in the now.
Yeah. Well, Rasheed Rice is turning into a star.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of becomes a little diva-ish and
Well-
kind of like holds out just for a little bit pay because he was a big factor. Not a big factor, but an important factor because
He plays the diva position, so
I mean he's apropos. But you're following in Tyreek Hill's shoes there. You don't want to be
Yeah.
too much of a diva where you don't get paid. But Rasheed Rice, not bad. But to go back to your original point, if Travis Kelce does that ever again,
yeah, he'll be hearing from us.
he will be. And you Swifties, you better fucking. Hey, if he has that anger against his coach, Taylor Swift, I don't know.
Well, they're not actually dating.
Yeah, right. PR.
I'm surprised I didn't get canceled by the Swifties on Twitter because when Travis Kelce went up there and mauled like a bear, holding the trophy, did you see his when he was trying to sing "Viva Las Vegas"? But it sounded like he was having it sounded like an exorcism. He, I tweeted, I think Travis Kelce just had a CTE episode. I'm surprised I didn't get destroyed on Twitter by the Swifties. I got a lot of likes on that. I think I got like 20 likes on that tweet.
I think I liked it, but I did see that later on in the
Yeah,
night.
it sounded like he was like giving birth to like a gorilla through the mouth. He was like,
Now, from the radio side of it, I don't know if he was called upon for an interview. I felt like he grabbed the mic and just started singing.
yeah,
That's
he
that
was
what
just
happened?
up there. He was up there. So when they came out, when they have the big thing, first of all, here, I have a problem, and I understand it, I get it, but in the NBA,
Yeah.
the trophy usually gets handed to the like LeBron
Owner.
or whatever.
Oh,
Is it the owner?
yeah, isn't it the owner that gets the first?
Oh, I got a bigger problem then. I think the
Go on,
the baseball trophy goes to the owner. In the NHL, the Stanley Cup gets handed to the captain of the winning team. The only sport that can boast that. I don't like that when you go up top there, you got the quarterback or the point guard or the starting pitcher. The first person they talk to and that they interview and they give the trophy to is the owner of the team. Like, I guess congratulations on buying the groceries, but you didn't
didn't make 'em.
usually the owner's not even involved. Aside from Jerry Jones and I guess Laurie to an extent, the owner's usually not fully involved in the front office. At the very least, congratulate the GM. But I think it should go to the coach and the players first, and then you can segue to the owner. Here's Mr. Ursay or Mr. Laurie or whatever.
Right.
And well, Ursay's ODing on cocaine, but
Hey, man.
but I don't like that they go, congratulations, we just talked about the players for 3.5 hours. Here's an old white guy who's probably racist and hates that he's got black players on the team on the podium with him. And they hand the trophy. So Mahomes was up there, Kelsey was up there, Andy Reid was up there, and I think the owner of the team was up there. And they talked to Mahomes. He did his usual speak at 1.25 speed, talk about how the other team did a really good job and how this team really competed. He's really good at not saying anything. And then Kelsey came over and tried to eat the microphone.
He felt like I think he's a little bit of narcissistic. Like, hey, I'm up here.
I don't know.
Give me my attention right now.
Well, that Pfizer money's going to run out eventually, so he's got to get his royalties from the. By the way, the cheap stuff was on the 25% off rack at Dick's Sporting Goods.
No shot.
They had a bunch of Super Bowl stuff at the Dick's near me.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting one just to have a workout or like an
I
undershirt.
like the
30.
shirts with the little patch on them, or even like the. It's not really a patch, but it's a logo.
Mm. Well,
The video game will be unveiled this May, by the way.
for
College football video
NCAA.
game. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Chiefs obviously defeated the 49ers in overtime. I believe it's the second one in 10 plus years, I want to say. 25, 22?
First one in 6 years. First
Oh,
one
6
since
years?
Super Bowl 40-51, I think it was.
Falcons,
Falcons,
Patriots,
yeah, the 28-3 game, which Kyle Shanahan also blew a lead in.
and blew in another lead, right? The other
Yeah, he's
second?
blown a 25-point lead in the 28-3 game. He blew a lead to the Chiefs. Was it 4 years ago? I believe that game was 20-10 or 21-11 or something like that. And then he blew this lead. This was it's tough to call this a blown lead when it was only 10-0. It's not like they led 28-21. They blew the lead. It was 10-0 in the second quarter, and then the Chiefs kind of came back.
But
What's your take on? I don't know how many of the highlights you've seen. Obviously, you didn't see it in real time,
I
but
saw the 40 minutes at the end that you said that's all you needed
like
to see.
condensed, yeah,
Yeah, shout out to the NFL for doing that for those who
yeah.
can't watch the game. Shout out to y'all. Real quick though, before I get to my take, the over
Hmm.
under was 47.5.
Oh, I'm well aware.
This bitch hit the
Yeah, I'm well aware
47.
of this. Trust me, I know.
What did you go for? The over?
I took the under. This
Oof.
officiating staff, their unders hit 63% of the time this year. So I think it
How,
was John Parry was the
how bad were you sweating this?
So once it got to overtime, I knew I couldn't go over unless the Niners scored a touchdown. Because it was 1990, we were at 38. If the Niners got 3, then the Chiefs either needed 3 or 6 to win, and there's no extra point.
Right.
Because if you score a touchdown and walk it off. So once the Niners got 3, I could breathe.
Yeah.
But I was getting a little worried when it was like 10-0 at halftime or whatever it was, or 10-3. I was like, all right, this is not bad. But it started to pick up in the second half, and luckily there was that missed extra point. Well, actually, the missed extra point for the Niners would have helped me had it gone in, because then the Chiefs wouldn't have tied it on the field goal. But I was sweating until the Niners settled for 3. Then I knew the Chiefs were going to go down the field and score.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, 47.5. Oh, baby.
What do we end on? 47?
47 on the dot.
Yeah, 47. Yeah, of course. And that, keep in mind, it was like 10 or 11 years ago they started not necessitating the extra point on a game-ending touchdown.
Right.
Remember the touchception or whatever in that Monday night game between the Seahawks and the Packers? They had to send guys onto the field to go do the extra point because the extra point mattered back then. Since they kind of got rid of the extra point,
Yeah.
you walk off on a touchdown, it's just over.
Yeah, you gotta clear everybody out, restore order just to kick this meaningless 1 point.
So, by the way, I thought it was hilarious that the Niners didn't know the overtime rules.
I was just gonna
So
say
I
that.
very much,
Like, what
I wish
happened?
they would have scored a touchdown on the first drive and then stormed the field thinking they won. How funny would that have been? Only to find out that they didn't actually win and they all got a 15-yard penalty.
Oh, you just gave Mahomes
That would
15
be even
extra
funny.
yards.
Yeah, then Mahomes just has to go down the field and score a touchdown, and the
And
extra
then
point's got to get kicked for the
and
walk-off.
the 2 points and the 2 points.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
imagine that.
what are your
You get a 15
yeah.
yarder. Mahomes gets a short field and a lot of time, all the timeouts. Goes
Well,
down.
anytime he wants, because you get the full possession regardless.
Yeah, you get basically a second quarter if time runs out.
Yeah.
But not only
They
get
should
the
have just
6
started
points,
another game. How funny would that have been if they just played 4 more quarters?
I'm here for it. You're over.
I would have been right. You would have been home in time for that. I was wondering, can you bet on the overtime coin toss too? Because as soon as overtime was about to begin, I was like, I gotta go check DraftKings to see if I can do this.
If you can, maybe FanDuel, maybe like a live bet, or
Yeah.
Barstool, one of those like.
So what are your
Third-party
takeaways from the big game?
I didn't see
We already
all of it.
owe royalties. I think we said the word earlier.
Oh, the big game.
Yeah, the big game.
The big game. I mean, no one's watching. It's all good.
Yeah, we're killing it. Where's Perry at? Is he still?
Nah, Perry. He's
Let's
probably
join the damn thing.
He's probably looking at more tickets for his stadium tours. Let me see. My big takeaway from the 40 minutes that I watched anyway, is Kyle Shanahan is a bozo. How do you not feed it to your best player in CMC on the ground, no less?
Are you talking about the 3rd and 2 and then the subsequent?
No,
I guess they
in
kicked it
general.
after that, right?
I'm looking at the stats, right? 22
Well, yeah, they
carries,
abandoned the
80 yards.
run.
Yeah, you abandoned the run. No touchdowns for CMC on the ground, and then his one touchdown was a blown coverage on a
With
freak little play.
a
Come on, now.
with an illegal man downfield, by the way, on that play. It wasn't
Right.
called,
Right. So I mean,
which is fine. That was a fun play. Did you see the replay of it?
yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
whoa.
the double pass. That ball was in the air for an hour and a half. That ball was begging to be intercepted.
Right. I thought he was gonna fumble it,
That was a cool. I like that ring. I like when there's cool stuff like
but
that.
that's his only contribution in the game. Technically,
Yeah.
was that blown and missed, call there.
And
Don't
the
feed
fumble.
it to him. Debo was absolutely pure shit. Let's just call it what it is. 3 catches, 33 yards. Ayuk,
On 11 targets, no less.
3 catches, 49 yards. No better. And Kittle was dog shit. 2
Yeah.
receptions, 4 yards on 3 targets.
Kittle was impactful in the run game. He's obviously a great blocker. He did leave the field at one point. He was injured, but he came back. I think
Shoulder injured too.
they either shot him up with whatever they gave Mahomes last year against the Jags, or they
Right.
put his shoulder back in.
My takeaway,
If you
though-
combine,
No, go for it. If you combine what?
I was gonna say, if you combine Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle's yards, it's still not as many yards combined as what Corey Clement had in Super Bowl 52. And if you want to combine Jennings in there,
Right.
um, then Clement and Aguilar outgained the four of them. Pretty crazy.
It's insane. Super Bowl, these unsung heroes,
Yeah.
of these players that you don't think of, make a big move.
I don't think Kittle had a catch until the second half.
Oh, that's even more depressing.
And to be fair, Kelsey really didn't take off until the second half either. So neither tight end really did particularly well in the first half. And the Chiefs had trouble moving the ball too. The Niners are probably, well, the Chiefs are probably should be thanking their lucky stars that the Niners weren't able to move the ball really toward the end of the first half, because that's when the Chiefs were on the ropes.
Yeah.
And the Niners should have put them down and just put them out of their misery. That could have very well been 17-6 at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it would have changed the trajectory of the game for sure.
Also, I was sweating Niners under 23.5 as we got to overtime also. So that field goal was huge for me because them going from 19 to 22 is a lot different from going 19 to 26.
Man, you had a lot of money probably out there. I probably had just the one, and it kind of blew up in my face.
Got this jersey with it.
Because Devon Ayuk just didn't want to play.
Yeah.
It was a good Super Bowl, good ending. Fourth quarter was absolute pure cinema.
Yes.
The overtime rule, I didn't know it at all because I kind of was driving home, and was I driving? Yeah, I was
it's
driving
tough
home
when
the
you're
whole
not
time.
actually watching.
So I don't know anything that was going on. And they didn't even really explain it that it's 2 quarters. I just understood that 49ers got the ball, which is people are upset about it. I'm not. I would have taken the ball first. I'm trying to score. Now,
there's two schools of thought, and I want to discuss that too, and
we'll get
into a chance.
Their mindset is obviously the wrong one. Is we get a touchdown, we win the game. My mindset is I'm going a touchdown, and I'm forcing you to come down and get a touchdown because as the box gets closed, if I'm in the red zone, it's harder for you to get a touchdown at that point. Knowing that you need a touchdown, I don't because I already have it. We're golden, baby.
Yep.
The fact is, it was pure cinema. They go for it, get the 3 points, and then Mahomes, 4th down, 3rd and long, all these like conversions, willing that team down, and then at the very end, and now I'm watching it because I'm watching the replay. That Hardman touchdown, happened so fast and so nonchalant. I didn't know the game was over until Romo just stepped all over it. And second of all,
walked all over that call.
And second of all, it wasn't until later in the night as TikTok or Twitter kindly reminded me this was the same play that defeated the Eagles.
Twice. They did it twice last year. Was it Sky Moore and
Tony?
It was Tony or Juju that caught it?
Probably Juju, actually. I think Kadarius Tony had the big catch.
Tony had that big punt return.
That's what it was, the punt return.
And I think it was.
I think it was
Tony scored a touchdown, didn't he?
I think. Yeah. Nevertheless,
I think Sky Moore put him ahead, and then Hurts tied it. I think the last touchdown was Tony.
Nevertheless, it was the same kind of wrinkle play, and I'm like, oh my god, can it be? They went right back to it when it needed it the most. It was tremendous cinema all over. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Going in, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Going out of it, I was like, damn, I missed a good game, and I can't wait for football to come back.
Yeah, I kind of view it this way. I was kind of bummed going into it.
Right.
At no point did I really have confidence that the Niners were going to win. I had a lot more confidence in Kansas City. Going into it, I was kind of a curmudgeon. I wasn't watching as much. I was making food throughout the day. I played MLB The Show up until pretty much kickoff. And I wasn't as with the Eagles game last year. I didn't miss a snap. I was watching.
You were in.
Okay, play's over. Take a bite. Watch. Okay, this happened. Okay, take a bite. Text during the commercial breaks. But this game, I wasn't as attentive. So there were certain things that happened. I think the Pacheco fumble. I was in the middle of a text and I heard Romo or somebody squeak, and I was like, oh, looked up and I saw that they fumbled. Same thing with McCaffrey. Right. But in the second half, I was very much into it, and I thought it was a great game. So there's two schools of thought on the
OT.
On the overtime. I initially was in the same boat as Shanahan, and Shanahan defended it by saying the exact same thing I was going to say. But the more I think about it, I actually would prefer to kick. So Shanahan, and my initial thought on this was, so I knew the rule was both teams get the ball, but after both teams can score, the next score wins. So theoretically, you score, they score. All you got to do is kick a field goal. So Shanahan goes down the field and gets 7. Chiefs go back and get 7 themselves, or you turn them over, or the game's over, I get the ball back unless they kick an onside kick, but that's going to put me close to field goal range. So I was in the same boat as Shanahan, and then the more I think about it, I think truly I would rather kick because one, you want to know what you need to do, kind of like in a in a shootout.
Right.
In the NHL, I think the home team chooses if they want to shoot first or second. I don't know how it works in soccer, but I think I'd rather let the other team shoot first because then I know if they scored, then I need to. If they didn't score, I can score and put the pressure on them. I think if I kick off there and the Niners go down and get 3, I know I only need 3 to tie, so I just got to get in the field goal range, or I can score and end the game. If they get 7, I know I can just go for it and win. Because I think the likelihood that if the Niners would have gone in and let's say McCaffrey punches it in, it's whatever, 26-19 at that point.
Yeah.
The Chiefs get the ball back. They're going to go down the field and score. They're going to go for 2 because if they kick it back off to the Niners, all the Niners got to do is get in the field goal range. So I think there is a benefit to getting the ball second. But I think also what the Niners need to realize is that them taking the ball there gives their defense a rest, which at the end of regulation, I mean, the Chiefs were kind of grinding down that Niners defense. They scored with like a minute left. They kicked the field goal. So that Niners defense was winded. You put them back on the field, Mahomes is going right down the field and score. I think no matter what, Mahomes is going to go down the field and score anyway, right. So it didn't really matter. It was just a matter of, the order of operations. But I understood in the moment, but in hindsight, I think it was the wrong decision. I think you kick it off and you let your defense go out there and eat, knowing that there's a lot of pressure on a quarterback. I guess there's not as much pressure on Mahomes as there would have been for Purdy. Right. If the Chiefs win the toss, they kick it off. Purdy's got to go 80 yards or 75 yards to go score. But I think no matter what, the Chiefs are winning that game. There's too much momentum at the end there. That's 2 Super Bowls in a row that the Chiefs kind of finished stronger than they began.
Championship mentality.
Yeah, great play calling. Andy Reid again.
Andy Reid, calm, cool, collected under pressure. He's the GOAT. He's one of the GOATs out there.
Arguably the worst team that Mahomes has had, or the Andy Reid-Mahomes combo has had. They were not the number 1 seed. They did not play. So Mahomes never played a road playoff game.
Well, he shut everybody
until
up now.
The season. Yeah, unless you count the COVID year when they played in Tampa against Tampa in the Super Bowl, but that was a neutral site. He's never been the road team in a playoff game. He won 2 straight, and then against great teams in tough places to play in Baltimore and Buffalo, and then beating. Mahomes has also never lost in Vegas for what it's worth, but beating a really good team that had a little bit less travel, obviously, because San Fran to Vegas is only a couple hours, whereas Kansas City to Vegas, or Buffalo, or whatever it was, Baltimore to Kansas City to Vegas, a lot more travel, and arguably a lesser team too. I thought the Niners had the most complete roster in football. Something that people have been talking about a little bit, but not as much. Dre Greenlaw's injury proved really big in this game. I got the stats here somewhere. Efforting.
Dude, that was a sad injury.
It was upsetting. It was both hilarious and disgusting. So once Dre Greenlaw got hurt, Oren Burks was his replacement. He was targeted 9 times. He gave up 9 catches, a touchdown, and a 134.7 passer rating. PFF had him at a 32.1 coverage grade, which is like, I failed my fair share of classes. That's half of a failing score. And worth noting also, Kyle Shanahan, 3 Super Bowls where he's been the play caller.
All right.
Super Bowl, this one against the Chiefs, 3 for 12 on 3rd down. The last one against the Chiefs, 3 for 8 on 3rd down, and the game he called against the Patriots, the Falcons game, 1 for 8 on 3rd down.
Some guys just can't do it.
Yeah.
On the brightest lights, can't do it. They just fold under pressure. And the cop out of the year.
7 for 28, 25%.
Hey, Wilkes, see ya.
I don't like that either.
That was a cop out of all cop outs.
These players are throwing each other under the bus. They're throwing their teammates under the bus. They said they weren't adequately prepared to defend a zone read. I mean, that's the first thing you learn at training camp, I feel like, is how to defend a zone read against a mobile quarterback.
Not only that.
3rd and 1, or whatever, 4th and 1, Mahomes keeps. You kidding me? I know they didn't do it very often this year. Mahomes is not a sneak guy. But if you're going to run with Mahomes, it's going to be to the boundary, or to the outside at least, on a vertical run. And naturally, no one there. The zone read, he gets like 15 on the carry. So Steve Wilkes, I thought it was a good fit there. Losing, your defensive coordinator.
First year as your defensive coordinator takes you to the Super Bowl, and the defense was playing pretty good until the end. Obviously, they faded, but they weren't the ones that went. What was it? 3 and 12 on 3rd down, or whatever it was you said.
Yeah, 3 for 12, I think it
That
was.
wasn't the defense. That was the offense.
Defense was pretty good. This is now going to be the fourth defensive coordinator in 5 years for them. They had Sala. He left for the Jets job. They had D'Amico. He left for the Texans job. They fired Wilkes. Who, I mean, unless they bring in a Vrabel or somebody with pedigree, it's going to be hard to replace
I would
those three guys.
here it is. Here it is. Bill Belichick.
Oh God, I don't think he's. I don't think he would work for Kyle Shanahan.
Here's the thing.
He wouldn't want to work for Mike Shanahan.
You bring in Tom Brady right out of before he even touches the booth.
Just make
Yo,
him the defensive coordinator.
no, Brady, come on, we got this. One more year, Brock Purdy can take a seat, just like Aaron Rodgers was going to tell Zach Wilson to take a seat for a year. Let's do what they couldn't do in New York, baby. Let's do one more dance.
Yeah.
Let's get the other.
Brady's
rings.
seeing Mahomes catch up to him. He's got to put a helmet on and go get some more rings.
3 and 5 years for Mahomes.
Crazy.
He's what, 26, 25,
28.
28. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, he's 28. He's a week younger than me.
Look at that, dude.
So yeah,
This dude, he is sensational.
he's great.
He's a special player. But yeah, Steve
He's a nice little player.
Cop out of the year. Ayuk's cryptic IG post.
Yeah, his brother or whatever posted, or his friend.
He's probably done. I would probably pick him up.
Now we got John Feliciano tweeting about people. He's saying Jalen Carter threatened to kill him. John Feliciano threw his right tackle under the bus. Not good. Niners are the best fan base this could have happened to. Even Cowboys fans, I would have felt kind of bad for him if this happened, but Niners fans deserve it. If any fan base is as annoying, and I will admit it, as the Eagles fan base, it's the Niners.
Yeah.
If this happened to Jets fans, I'd be devastated for them. Bills fans, same thing. But the Niners talked all that shit for the last year to the Eagles fans, and they've talked about Cowboys fans for the last 30 years too.
Right.
The Niners haven't won a thing since the 90s. I think since either of us were born. So
Do you
couldn't have happened to a better fan base.
So I would assume that you are okay with Fletcher Cox having receipts ready for Debo.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it. Debo wants to clown C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who was Cox's teammate last year.
Yeah.
No, Debo can't talk all this smack to the Eagles and then go out there and lose.
Right.
They did put up a fight. I'll get the Eagles and the Niners both lost by 3 to the Chiefs. Great team. Eagles put up a much better offensive performance, albeit a worse defensive performance. But I think the Purdy better than Hurts takes can probably be put to rest. Because Jalen played arguably better than Mahomes in the best game and in the biggest game of his life last year. And Mahomes obviously shined, but I thought Hurts played a great game. 4 total touchdowns, 400 plus total yards, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air. Converted a bunch of thirds, had an octopus to tie the game. And if he got the ball back at the end there, they would have probably won that game. So
he did everything he could.
Purdy had a chance to win it, and he didn't. With probably better receiving talent than Jalen had too. Better running back too.
How do you feel if you're Javon Hargrave?
Oh, I would take out a hit on Patrick Mahomes.
Back-to-back Super Bowls, you lose by the guy.
Yeah,
now the GOAT.
That's gotta suck. Hargrave played pretty well this season too.
Right. And do you think the Chiefs going for the 3-peat? That's what they're looking for. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I don't think so. I think it'd be cool for the sport. But if we're following the same script with Mahomes, win, miss the Super Bowl, go back and win, then he's not going to win another ring for another 10 years.
I'm cool with that.
Because remember Brady, he won the 3 and 4 years, and then he waited until 2014 to beat the Seahawks in the Malcolm Butler game. So,
well, the Seahawks beat themselves on that play.
Yeah, Butler, by the way, has a book coming out, which might actually finally explain why he didn't play Super Bowl 52.
Might air out Bill Belichick.
or Matt Patricia, probably.
Let's see. What else can we cover here? We already covered most of it with the coaching. With,
Yeah.
Andy Reid getting up there in wins.
Yeah, he's getting close.
Do you think he is on the Mount Rushmore of coaches, or he's on his way?
That's a good question.
If you can have a Mount Rushmore, let's say a second Mount Rushmore, is he on the second Mount Rushmore of coaches?
Yeah,
he's on the first one.
He's in the top 8. I mean, the Mount Rushmore is probably what, Lombardi, Belichick, Shula, and then I guess there's a
Holmgren? No,
maybe.
Well,
who was the coach of the Niners who won the Super Bowls in the 90s? Was it Holmgren? Or no, Holmgren was the Packers, I think.
Tony Dungy, by the way, is up there.
I mean, you could argue. Was it Jimmy Johnson had the couple with
Jimmy
Dallas?
Johnson. Oh,
Jimmy's
Parcells.
got the wins. Parcells is on there, but I don't know how many Super Bowls did he win. I mean, Andy's. How many guys have won 3 Super Bowls?
Not many, I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Trying to figure out this
So
list
he's
of
only the
first.
fifth guy to get 3 Super Bowl titles.
Buck Shaw? No.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Dick Nolan.
Belichick's got 6.
Bill Walsh.
Shula was 2-4 in the Super Bowl. Andy Reid's 3-2. Chuck Noll 4-0. That's pretty impressive. Oh, good lord. 3 guys went 0-4. Bill Walsh never lost one. Parcells only went to 3.
Steve
Holmgren
Mariucci.
only went to 3 and won one of them.
With
Lombardi
Seattle,
won.
right?
Yeah, Lombardi won the first 2. I don't know. I think Andy's on the Mount Rushmore.
I would say he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean,
quietly.
Chuck Noll with the Steelers has an argument. If you want to add 5, if you say there's 5 heads on the Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
we're very inclusive nowadays. I think he's on there. It's tough. I mean, it's gonna be tough to displace Belichick. He's got what, 5?
He's up there.
He's got 5. Brady's got 6. So I think it's Belichick, Lombardi,
Johnson.
probably Shula, and then Andy.
I wouldn't be mad.
Chuck Noll. I mean, one more. Chuck Noll went 4-0 in the Super Bowl. So Reed can't catch that. But I think so. Who do you think finishes with more wins all time? Andy Reid or Bill Belichick? I got the notes from my Tuesday 10 over here. Andy I believe is. So Andy is
65.
So he's 5 behind Belichick for playoff wins. He's
younger, no?
He's 44 behind Belichick, but he's like a decade younger. He's 65. I think Belichick's in his 70s.
And I think you said on the Tuesday 10 that Mahomes is locked up for like close to another decade. So
he signed for what, 15 years? It was 15,500, I think, for Mahomes. So he's there at least another 10. And if he stays healthy, you're winning 11 games with him every year, regardless.
And I think he's entering his prime. He's 28, about to be 29 at the end of the year.
Now, I will be honest. This is the time of a quarterback's career in a team's tenure where it becomes harder to pay your skill guys. You already had casualty number 1 with Tyreek Hill. Kelsey's going to wind down soon. He's going to come back for the 3 people. When they don't get it, how much longer is he going to stick around?
How about the Chris Jones? He's probably gone too, right?
Chris Jones is a free agent. I mean, I don't know what his deal was. I think he
wanted more money.
He wanted more money, and he came back, and then he wanted those sacks toward the end of the year to help with the incentive money. But I don't think he'll be gone. I think they'll prioritize him, especially because they drafted young. They have Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, Trent McDuffie, a lot of younger guys, L'Jarius Sneed, younger guys, and all over the defense and the skill positions on offense. But I do think Mahomes is ascending still. I don't think he's peaked yet. Mahomes eventually is going to have all the records if he stays healthy.
But we're talking about like wins in general, right? Not Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're not counting the playoffs either with the all-time wins with them.
Yeah, I think he's going to average 11 wins, I want to say. Maybe 10.
The next 5 years, they might average 12 wins.
I don't know, man. That AFC can blow up at any moment. I mean, we'll see it finally. This is the year that Harbaugh is the coach for Justin Herbert, and they get off to the right schneid.
Apparently, Joey Bosa wants out now.
Dude, that team is getting blown up on its own. There's something
they
going
should
on.
tear it down and rebuild it pretty quickly, but I think Harbaugh's not going to go to a situation to not win. But you got Cleveland on the rise. If they can move on from Cosby somehow.
The Raiders,
Houston,
Denver might be.
I like the hire that the Titans made. They need a quarterback still, but they're on their 5th different quarterback in 7 years or whatever. But the
Bills look like they're the closest, but also the furthest at the same time.
The Jets could be, same thing. Could be great, could be terrible. If they get the quarterback play they were expecting this year, then that defense is still great, and you still got a lot of those defensive players on small deals. So
I'm saying the AFC is pretty good right now. So
Joe Burrow coming back from injury again, although for how long?
Yeah, right. We'll see.
I don't know.
See.
Steelers, see if they get a quarterback.
And what else we have on here? Oh. Last thing, we can move on. Did you catch Jeff Goldblum on the big screen?
I don't think so.
Do you know who he is?
I know who he is. I didn't see.
It was a great wholesome moment. They do they show the cameras to the celebrities in the stadium for like a minute, and they kind of like react. That Justin Bieber and his wife kind of had like a whatever moment. They had Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm surprised you didn't see this. They had Leo DiCaprio in a suite. for those who are watching on YouTube or Spotify, his hat was like this. As you can see, you barely see my eyes. He has a credit card. There's bottles and shit. He has a credit card in his hand. There's shit there, and he's doing this with his nose.
Oh, jeez.
I think he was experimenting with a little bit of a nose candy. He never acknowledged the camera. Never acknowledged it. People around him were kind of, but he was like, touching his nose, looking around left and right. And then they cut to Jeff Goldblum. Looks on his phone. People in his suite are like, "Oh my God, we're on TV." He looks up. He looks like a kid, like a 6-year-old kid, just dancing away. He's having fun. It was a great moment. But to see Leonardo DiCaprio in his suite, he can care less of what's happening on the field. He's just cutting up.
Yeah,
his
it was
nose
snowing
candy.
in his suite. The funniest thing with DiCaprio, I thought you were going to go this way. Apparently, the Nickelodeon broadcast, it was either SpongeBob or Patrick made a joke about DiCaprio not liking people over 25.
Oh shit! Really?
I didn't see it. The Nickelodeon broadcast was excellent.
I saw
the
the
Nickelodeon
halftime
broadcast.
show.
Oh my God, yeah, that was funny. There was the first fumble. I think either Pacheco fumbled or McCaffrey fumbled. Patrick said you got to firmly grasp it. Sandy Cheeks was the sideline reporter, but she had her helmet on even though she was above ground. So explain that to me. They did the slime cannons. They did a great job. They did a really good job. I like the Nickelodeon broadcast a lot.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but do you know if the Nickelodeon cast showed more Taylor Swift than the, CBS?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Well, they probably
the
showed
kid.
the same things. They might have shown the same things with different graphics because they did show Kelsey on the sideline at one point, and it said like Travis Kelsey good at football or like Taylor Swift's boyfriend good at football, which is pretty funny.
You got to run with it, and even though it's a PR move, you got to run with it.
Yeah, it's Noah Eagle. Was it Nate Burleson, I think, and then SpongeBob and Patrick. I thought it was great. I like they should do a Nickelodeon WrestleMania. I would watch that.
That would be funny.
That'd be great.
Funny.
Those middle fingers on Stone Cold's hand, they're actually jellyfish nets. He's holding up a net.
And last thing before we move on to the other sports, there's a report here on Philadelphia Eagle Central on Twitter. Hassan Reddick is seeking a new contract that's been rumored to be upwards of $25 million per year.
Yeah.
Although it's unclear right now if the Eagles are going to be the team that gives it to him.
They probably
$25
won't.
million average contract would make Hassan Reddick one of the top 5 highest paid edge rushers in the league.
I was gonna say, if you look at the edge rushers in the NFL, you got Khalil Mack, you got the Bosas, Crosby, some of the big names up there.
Cleveland's boy.
Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt. You're looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 million among the top 10 guys.
Yeah.
I think the way he's played the last couple of years, he might be worth it, but he's approaching 30. With the new scheme, I think he would be actually better as a rushing linebacker, an outside linebacker with the Fangio scheme.
He won't be
instead of having a hand on the ground. But I don't know if you can give him that kind of money with Hurts all of a sudden taking up 10% of your salary cap with his big deal coming up. Right. You're gonna have to pay Devontae Smith soon. You're gonna have to pay Landon Dickerson soon. You're gonna have to pay Cam Jurgens soon. A couple years from now, you're gonna have to pay Jalen Carter.
Whoever you're gonna pick up as safety or cornerbacks.
Yeah, you got to figure out what to do at corner. You got Bradbury eating up a bunch of money there. Slade, same thing. You have to find a safety that isn't 30 years old. And you got to find You got to find at least 2 linebackers this year. Goddard, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if he got paid. AJ Brown, I'm sure will be wanting a new contract soon.
Or leaving.
And if Kelsey stays and Lane is obviously preparing to stay, if Kelsey stays, he's going to be the highest paid center. So that's $14-15 million for him. It financially doesn't make sense, but looking at the team, if you take Reddick away, even if it's for draft picks, it's going to be hard to replace him. So I'm on the fence here. I would find a way to bridge him, maybe 2 years. 1 year guarantee with a signing bonus, and then figure it out from there. But
some incentives.
I don't know, because you're probably losing Fletcher Cox. I think he's going to go to the Steelers. Brandon Graham, one last year with him. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis haven't really shown anything, at least in the back half of the season. Davis, nothing at all. Carter was good for the first 8 or 9 weeks.
Davis is showing his cardio is shit right now.
Yeah. Milton Williams I thought was good, but Josh Sweat can't be your primary, edge rusher. They were already one of the worst defenses in the league. If you lose your best defensive player, you're going to become even worse.
Right.
And they're not going to bring in, they're not going to bring in, I think Jadeveon Clowney would be a suitable replacement, but he'll also probably get 15 million with incentives and stuff. So you're better off just keeping Reddick. He's a local kid, played for that 2015 Temple team, who was great 2 years ago for the Eagles. I would just keep Reddick as and try to figure it out elsewhere.
Yeah.
If you lose Kelsey, that's a lot of money you'll have at least available to pay other guys. Lane, I'm sure if he hasn't already, he'll restructure in 20 minutes. BG, I'm sure we'll have an incentive-based deal.
Yeah.
They'll restructure guys if they have to, and then
Howie's the
defer
perfect
money
guy.
on Smith and Dickerson.
Howie's the perfect guy for that.
Yeah, they got the right Jew in the front office to do it. He's a cap wizard, as are most GMs. I I would be if you can't keep him, I would maybe call the Saints and see if they want to offload any of their guys because they're $100 billion over the cap this year. So we'll see.
But we're on the same page. Hassan Reddick, hopefully an Eagle.
I hope so. I have his jersey.
That
Tired
means
of buying jerseys of players that are going to leave.
it's not
Pissing me
just
off.
signed.
Yeah, that means he's getting traded to the Texans.
Right. All right. Let's transition over to the Phillies. I believe spring training has officially began.
Yes.
There's this picture that's been surfacing that you've brought up in the group chat, which is funny. I believe it's
John Middleton.
Yep, John Middleton, creepily, excitedly, awkwardly happy, whatever you want to call it.
Was it Home Improvement where the guy lives on the other side of the fence?
Yes, just like grasping the fence, looking at his guys. I guess practicing, warming up, whatever they do in spring training.
Yeah, I think he was watching the bullpen.
With a smile. So, what do you make of the Phillies? I mean, they haven't done much besides sign Aaron Nola and been linked to Yamamoto.
Yeah, and they're currently linked to Snell, Montgomery, and Bellinger. And I think the only move left for them is to bring in Whit Merrifield. I think he's going to be the guy they bring in. He can start all over the diamond and fill in here and there. But they haven't done anything. They don't have a closer. They're going to try Kerkering. They're going to try Alvarado. They're going to try Dominguez. They really didn't make an offer for Hader, nor should they have. I don't think a closer deserves the money he got.
Yeah, absurd amount.
There are rumors that they might be interested in Kenley Jansen if they can get him from the Red Sox.
What
But
a full circle moment.
yeah, right. The Red Sox want a starting pitcher in return. A lot of people think Taijuan Walker would be the guy that would make sense there money wise. But then you got to figure out how to replace Walker. And I know Walker's not great, but listen, if you bring in Montgomery and you flip Walker to Boston and you find a way to get Jansen, two thumbs all the way up, you get a closer for a year and then you can reassess next year. But the closer position concerns me, even though Kimbrel was kind of a net zero in the playoffs. You're going to have to find somebody to do that job. Kerkering is probably not going to be a good closer, at least not right now. Dominguez has shown he can't be a closer. Alvarado, if he's wild, cannot be a closer. Greg Soto, maybe. Greg Soto, if you take away his two worst outings last year, his ERA was closer to 3 than you might realize.
We're overthinking it.
It's possible.
Jeff Hoffman.
Hoffman was good, but he did blow up a few times. I think the easy decision is just move Zach Wheeler to the bullpen. No, I'm kidding. Zach Wheeler, by the way, wants a new contract, $40 million a year. So we'll see what they do with that.
Here's some breaking news for you. I mean,
what do you got?
It's women's sports, but this is not bad. Iowa's Caitlin Clark sets women's Division I scoring record with 3,528 points, passing Kelsey Plum, who I believe is married to our boy.
It's
Giants? Darren Waller.
Yeah, it's Waller. Yeah,
but I think they're going to a divorce because I believe.
I was wondering why Iowa women's were available to bet on DraftKings.
Dude,
they were like one of the prominent things up top.
Because she's basically the female Steph Curry. So
she's great. Yeah, it's great. There's been a couple of phenoms in college basketball recently. You had
shout out to
Kelsey Plum.
NIL.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum was the year Fultz got drafted too. I'm pretty sure they both went first overall. They both went to Washington.
Yeah.
Then there was a girl, Ionescu, I think is how you pronounce her name. She's the girl that I think is facing Steph Curry in the skills contest this weekend. And now you got Caitlin Clark, who's awesome. So,
but you got the girl from LSU. She hasn't been great, I don't think, this year because she's having some off the court troubles. But I forget her name. Angel Reese. She's a good.
Is that her? Yeah, you're maybe.
Oh, dude, it was an epic. Iowa versus LSU was must-see TV.
Oh, I think I saw the highlights from that.
Where she did the "You Can't See Me."
Yeah. So yeah, women's college basketball. The women's tournament this year is going to be really good. There's 4 or 5 teams that can theoretically win it. Men's tournament's going to be good too. Just don't bet Purdue. No matter what TikTok tells you to do, do not take that because they never win big games. They're like Gonzaga. Um, before we get too far off topic, yeah, the Phillies haven't done anything.
Yeah.
We can kind of break down their roster maybe next week.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
going to be tough to figure the bullpen.
Chris
I
Sanchez
think
for
five of
Taijuan
the
Walker.
yeah. I mean, if either Walker or Sanchez really ascends, and you find another arm, whether it be Montgomery, Snell, whoever.
Yeah.
We had a report here with the shooting, but then Ranger Suarez was great in the bullpen a couple of years ago, and he closed out a game in the playoffs for you last year, 2022. So I don't think you want to move your youngest, young starter to the bullpen, but it's a thought.
Baby. Sacrifices.
What a nothing report. Thanks, Schefter. Authorities in Kansas
Slow
City
night.
said Thursday that the mass shooting that left one person dead and 22 injured at the Chiefs Super Bowl celebration appeared to have stemmed from a dispute among several people.
Brother, look at your sheet right now. Look at the very top where it says news and notes. Schefter is having a slow week.
What an asshole.
Slow week.
He should just go join Barstool at this point.
Shout out to Big Cat. You're done.
Yeah, Schefter can eat a dick. I kind of hate him now.
He's just waiting for someone to contemplate retirement and just say, "Oh, he's retiring."
He will never be Passan. Passan does it with respect and integrity and intelligence.
And he's
and the other one. What's the third eye?
Integrity, intelligence.
Integrity. Yeah.
Yes.
The three eyes.
The
Jeff Passan isn't here. Maybe that'll be the sign I bring to WrestleMania. Jeff Passan isn't here.
If Passan isn't here.
He was there last year, right? And he tweeted out, "Jeff Passan is here."
Yeah.
The nice full circle moment. That was pretty funny.
The same year, I think he got hacked, which is even better.
Yeah. That's funny.
Do you want to touch real quick on the MLB Nike jerseys while we're on baseball?
No. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So Nike is now licensing their jerseys to be made by Fanatics. Anybody that's ever ordered a jersey from Fanatics.
Ooh. What do we have
well,
here?
Yahoo's late to the party. Manfred's retiring in 2029. That's the only thing I just saw. But so Fanatics is now making, so instead of being inch big, I know this doesn't sound like a big deal.
Sent you something, by the way.
It's huge. 1 inch is the typical number, the letter size on the back of MLB uniforms, but they're now going to 3/4 of an inch. They're making everything look very condensed, and on the back of an MLB jersey, there's like the collar, which for some teams is a different color, but most teams it isn't.
Right.
That's where the MLB logo. So the MLB logo would be right here on the back of a jersey. Now it's closer to the name, which looks just so cheap.
It looks dumb. It looks like a straight up China jersey, by the way.
There are players that are saying the jerseys look cheap.
I've seen some photos now that guys are in training camp. It's bad stitching, bad quality, horrible fit, and if we knew anything about the World Baseball Classic, the Great Britain jersey was Nike. Do you see the letter come off the picture?
This should have been this was an omen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of liked those jerseys too.
Yeah, they were. I remember us ranking them.
Yeah, that's right, we did.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this Fanatics thing. I hope they fix it. If you look at the side by side jerseys, there's a picture circulating of Ranger Suarez from last season, and then Ranger Suarez in his bullpen yesterday. The numbers are very small. Obviously, he's not shrinking or getting any larger.
Very small.
The name and the numbers are small. It almost looks, and I'm not joking when I say this, it looks exactly like the jersey I ordered my wife a couple years ago from Fanatics. Her first baseball jersey, Bryce Harper. The Harper looks awfully small. The 3 is pretty small. Like it looks cheap. And then there's a picture of I think it's a Logan Gilbert jersey from the Mariners. I may have even said this to you.
55?
Whatever it was. Somebody made a side-by-side of the new Mariners jerseys. I think it was a George Kirby jersey next to a Logan Gilbert jersey that was being sold in the team store last year. It looks gorgeous. The numbers look good. They're textured. Now everything's ironed on. I'm wearing a Fanatic jersey right now. Everything's ironed on. And instead, so with the, if you can think about this, so with, let's say, the Eagles, or I guess we'll use the Mariners. The Mariners on a white jersey, it's a teal color, it's a teal number with a white outline behind it and then a silver outline behind that. Instead of doing silver layer, white layer, teal layer, they're doing it as all one layer where it's just all 3 colors on one piece of fabric, and they're just ironing that on as opposed to texturing it. Like if you feel my Eagles jerseys from China, It's you can
China.
feel the black on top of the green, or the green is on top of the white,
Yeah.
and it's 3 layers, and it's a little bit thicker. But instead, they're going the cheap way, almost like a T-shirt, where it's just 1 layer and it's flat, and it looks terrible.
Yeah,
And
I'm
there's been
looking at it
players,
now.
Carlos Esteves, the relief pitcher of the Angels,
Uh
he went and said the jersey and the pants are not even the same shade of color,
huh.
and they're supposed to be. Carlos Esteves right here. At his locker, Angels reliever Carlos Esteves was in a tizzy, which is hilarious, over the new threads. He pulled out a couple tops and pairs of pants to show that the shades didn't match. He laughed at the spacing and shrunken nature of the lettering on the back of the jersey, and he bemoaned the fact that he can't customize his pants to his preference. So they can't pick sizing for the pants. It's just like, I guess they're doing small, medium, large, extra large, the way pitchers once could, tailoring the fit to their big dumpers and tree trunk thighs. So the players hate it. Michael Rubin, when you're having these all white, parties that you're having, and not clan members, but all white
Yeesh.
shirts and pants at your mansion, the reason his profit margins are so high is because he spends nothing on the fabric and the materials for Fanatics.
And children are making them.
Terrible.
Gross. I mean, yeah, it's. I think I told you in the group chat. I can't wait to go to Citizens Bank Park, and we normally do this every time we go. We kind of like look at other jerseys that are around. We'll just see like an away jersey, but we'll see like
Oh yeah.
what's a Oakland A's jersey doing here against like Braves versus Phillies. The obscure ones. I can't wait till you go and say China, China, China. And you'd be like, should be China, but that's actually the new.
Yeah, that's actually Fanatics. That one's actually real.
Right. So now the ones that
It's a shame.
the ones that you called like China last season, those are actually more authentic.
Yeah, those are the good ones now. Yeah.
More authentic than the ones.
Those are closer to the real thing. If you look at my jerseys in my closet, I have some good ones. The Fanatics ones look terrible. And it's a shame because Fanatics once upon a time was a really good. You can buy player shirts on there. You can buy hats. I should have known this was coming like 5 or 6 years ago. I got my mom a Fletcher Cox shirt off Fanatics.
Oh.
And they put the fullback from the Packers, his name on the back with the Eagles logo on the front. I'm like, what the heck?
I think you have a tweet about it still.
Yeah, it's on my Twitter. I never got refunded. But Fanatics sucks.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, they're just trying to make a bigger profit than they get.
Yeah, they're spending less, and they're unfortunate. And it's no surprise that yesterday morning they posted a video on the MLB Twitter page. It was a bunch of players going, "Oh, I love the way these feel. These are great. I love the new jerseys." Mike Trout's like, "I love these," and it's no surprise that it's the day after all the backlash.
Right.
So,
all right. Before we end the show, do you want to touch on the Drew Eubanks versus Isaiah Stewart incident?
So I did see that Isaiah Stewart got arrested.
Yes. I didn't look too much into
terrible.
it.
I thought this was on the court. It turns out it was in the tunnel
before the game.
It wasn't even like a warm. It just happened. Like I looked up their names on Twitter and I couldn't find anything. It was just reports. I thought it was something that maybe happened on the court.
That's what I thought.
You can't even. I was driving home when I saw the reports, and I got home and I looked it up. I thought, okay, it's been a half hour since the initial tweet came out. There's got to be some video. There's no video of it,
that was
and there's no
day, right?
there's no real follow up. What's that?
That was earlier in the day that happened. Right before the news broke, all of a sudden, like, hey.
I guess, yeah. Well, it was before the game, so it was like 6:30 probably.
Well, that was last night's game. That's what I'm saying. Like, it broke all of a sudden, like earlier in the day today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, earlier today. Well, the initial report was last night, but then the report that he got arrested was this morning, I believe. Yeah. Shams took a break from sending emojis to Kay Adams and decided to talk about basketball for once.
He's a risk god. But
can't stand that guy.
It's funny that we don't get any information, but he got arrested. So I'm like, did Eubanks pussy out and just say, he assaulted me?
He hit me.
Bullshit. But then here's a report on NBA Central that came out an hour ago. Report, Drew Eubanks, quote, barely flinched after Isaiah Stewart punched him in the face and stood there, quote, stone cold. So Drew Eubanks, A, can take a punch. B, his reputation is not slandered.
He's went into business for himself. He didn't sell the punch at all.
Right. What's going on out there?
He'll never draw a dime in this business.
I think that's the most exciting thing that's happened in the NBA this week.
Yeah, well, since Isaiah Stewart tried to fight LeBron.
Right.
Yeah, so he's got pedigree.
I think right. He might be out of the league. I mean, Draymond Green might be looking at him like.
Did you see Draymond last night, like threatening to shank somebody?
No, I think he was going at it with Paul George.
He was going at it with
and he
somebody.
fouled out.
Him and what's his name? Nurkic keep tweeting at each other.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite. Like, you ever see the meme? It's a YouTube thumbnail. It says two retards fighting. That,
No.
to me, that's Jokic and Draymond, or Nurkic and Draymond.
Jesus. Yeah, right. Unreal, dude. Draymond. All right, let's move on to the Stadium Series preview happening this
Yes.
Saturday. First of all, Flyers named Sean
And-
Courtier as their captain.
Yep, I believe they're their 20th captain.
Yeah,
In
something like that.
crazy. I don't even think I can. I didn't realize there's been so few captains. Fun fact:
Yeah.
if you're ever at Quizzo, first captain in Flyers history, Mr. Lou Angotti.
Lou Angotti.
The first Flyers captain in almost 2 years to the day since it was. So Giroux was the last captain. He got traded. They did not name one since. They did have alternates, I believe. Lawton, Lawton Sanheim. Hayes was an alternate at one point. They kind of moved on from some of the alternate guys, and now Sean Couturier. It's also the first time we're going to get to see what the C looks like on the new jerseys, with the new font and everything. But I think it's the right move. A lot of people want Konechny to be the new captain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully in favor of Couturier being the new captain. He's been here the longest. He's a leader. He's the best two-way player on the team. I'm good.
I agree. I'm not mad at it at all. I thought it was TK because that's the only guy I knew. But Sean Courtier, I've heard that name a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
surprised.
Konechny's going to be an alternate too. Sean Couturier, by the way, 4 outdoor games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points.
So you're saying put the parlay on him?
What the fuck did they play a fourth one?
He's been in the league that long. There you go.
What other outdoor games have they played? He played in the Winter Classic in 2012, and then 2. They must have had another. They must have had another Stadium Series game that I'm not remembering.
Flyers?
Yeah, I can't. I don't remember them playing another one.
Let's look at it right now. Here we go. 2014. It looks like. Oh, dang! All right, let's see. Teams, right?
Oh, they played the Bruins in that outdoor game during COVID. That's right. They lost 7-3. They played on at Lake Tahoe. That was with no fans in attendance. I forgot about those. The goalies, if you were standing on one end of the ice, couldn't see because of the glare coming from the sun. That's right. I forgot about those games.
Oh, Jesus.
They don't count to me. I count games in front of fans.
As you should.
No Mickey Mouse outdoor games. Also, Scott Lawton named an alternate captain, which leads me to think he will not be traded, which is exciting. Ah, damn it, the Flyers get a goal. Leads me to think the Flyers won't be traded.
We thought Pat Bev wasn't going to get traded, but here we are.
That's fair. Yeah.
Here we are.
We see the
but they just named him as an alternate, so I doubt that they'll do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to trade him now. But he would be. They turned down a 1 and a 2 for him.
When is
apparently
the
right
trade
around the
deadline?
draft? It's coming up soon.
Now this
Sometime
is
in the next few weeks.
This is your expertise, obviously, a little bit. You know, you follow the sport more closely than I do. And I'll let you have the floor. Do you expect the Flyers to make a move? And should they make a move instead of making a move for the sake of making a move?
Yeah.
And if so, what if you were in the office? What would be the needs for the Flyers right now? I mean, I guess they're ahead of schedule. You don't expect them to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, but the way they've been playing, they're sitting third in the standings in the conference.
I think they're right now. I think they're a wild card in the Metro. If they're not a wild card, they're the number 3 in the Metro.
So I mean,
I can tell you right now, they're third in the Metro. They have 64 points. They're a point behind Carolina, and they are 4 up on the Red Wings.
So, what do you think?
So I don't expect them to buy necessarily. They're not going to give away. Well, at least if they go and add a player, I think it'll be somebody that can help them for longer than just this year. I can see them bringing in. They could use goal scoring, obviously on the wing. They could I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to probably trade away either Nick Seeler or Sean Walker, one of their 2 defensemen, if not both.
Yeah.
Or they could trade Ristolainen, who's also a defenseman. I don't expect them to acquire a goaltender unless it's a younger guy. But now that Hart's His thing's up in limbo. Sam Ersson can't really be heavily relied on as a starter.
Wasn't
Cal
there cap
Peterson's not
relief
great.
also for Hart?
Yeah, I think all those guys that are being arrested are no longer on the book. Well, they're on the books, but I don't think they're kind of similar to long term injured reserve, where they're kind of moved to a different part. They're like an inactive roster player.
Gotcha.
I think they could move on from a guy like a Cam Atkinson who carries like a pretty big cap hit, 5-6 million. They might have to eat half of that, but they can move him to a contender like a Boston to be like a fourth line goal scoring kind of guy. I don't expect them to add and like buy necessarily, but I don't expect them to tear it all the way down. But Walker and Sealer are the two guys I think they're likely to move. I wouldn't be surprised if they move Igor Zamula, who's also a defenseman. Um, he would be, in my opinion, if they traded him, it would be for another roster player. It wouldn't be for like a third or fourth round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now it seems like Lawton and Konechny are probably safe. Tippett's obviously safe.
Right.
Couturier is not going anywhere. Joel Farabee. I know Tortorella doesn't love young guys. I could see them moving on from Morgan Frost, who, or even Bobby Brink at this point. Two young guys that don't really fit what Tortorella wants to do. They could maybe be moved for another young guy in a different situation. There's been rumors about Trevor Zegras from Anaheim. I don't know if they're going to go get him because it will cost them a lot, but I don't see them subtracting from their assets. I see them adding to their assets. So they could trade a guy on an expiring deal, most likely for either draft capital or young players. I don't think they're going to be buying, though. They might go get, if it doesn't cost them much, if it costs them like a 6th-round pick next year to get an extra forward, maybe they'll do it. But I don't really think they're going to be that active. I think you could see maybe 2 moves or maybe 1 move with 2 guys in it. It doesn't really seem like much of a seller's market this year. I don't know how many pending free agents are going to really get moved. The NHL trading deadline when I was younger, or when we were younger, was a lot more active. I don't really know what teams are going to be selling because now a lot of teams have a chance to make the playoffs. So, and because of this wild card, I don't know. It's a very unique market because they're probably, if they make a trade, it probably won't be to another Eastern Conference team because they're in a playoff position.
Hopefully not.
So I mean, they have to find the right trade partner. They've already made probably their biggest move of the year with the Cutter Gauthier move. I could see maybe 1 or 2 small moves around the margins, but that's it. Because they're really not ready to compete yet.
But they're doing. Hey man, this team was fun early in the season.
Yeah, they're still fun, but it's just they're not going for the cup right now. And I know Briere and Keith Jones, they got to keep a longer view.
Have to, right?
Which is something that this organization has always had trouble doing.
I mean, they're still tied 1-1 in Toronto. I mean, they do well on the road with little expectation of winning.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see.
They're 4-0 since the All-Star break.
Could be 5-0 after tonight. 6-0 by Saturday. Ew. Hopefully my first Flyers game outdoors is not an L. I'll tell you that much.
I hope not.
Flyers
have not fared very well. I guess they're now holy smokes.
They're
not very good in these outdoor games, so they're 1-4 actually instead of 1-3.
Well, I'll be in attendance. That'll change, hopefully.
They've never played the Devils outdoors though.
And the Devils haven't played the Phillies outdoors. Let's just call that the Flyers outdoors, not the Phillies.
That's true.
I'm excited for Saturday. I can't wait to have some hand warmers, be bundled up, and just watch y'all have fun. The atmosphere should be electric. It's probably 30 degrees, honestly.
Yeah, really.
I'm excited.
It looks like the Devils.
Brothers, I'll probably be in the concession stand looking for some food, to be honest.
The Devils are 0-1 in outdoor games. I'm surprised they haven't played more. They lost in Yankee Stadium to the Rangers. And then
Canada
3 days later, the Rangers. Canada usually has something called the Heritage Classic.
That's what it is, Heritage.
Although I don't remember. Yeah, the Heritage Classic.
Because that would be cold.
Yeah, the only problem is one of them was played indoors.
Let's put respect on its name. It's the Tim Hortons Heritage Classic.
Yeah, well, you got to show respect. I don't know. I know that the Stadium Series was at one point.
That was Calgary versus Edmonton. Ooh, baby.
The Winter Classic was once sponsored by Bridgestone, the tires. I don't know what sponsors the Stadium Series now.
For Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, they don't have a Heritage Classic for this year, though. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that sucks.
They only have the Winter Classic. which was in T-Mobile Park.
That's 2-1 now.
The Good Guys?
Nah, Austin Matthews scored again.
Balls.
Who's the sponsor for the damn? Oh, Navy Federal Credit Union. Should have known.
Hey, it could be a home loan for somebody out there.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least you and I will be experiencing MetLife frozen chicken tenders during the Jonas Brothers portion of the proceedings.
Do they have a bucket of chicken? Like
I don't know. I hope so. Do you think they have ice cream and little hockey helmets?
Oh, we're looking
that'd be pretty sick. That'd be kind of cool.
One.
Yeah, but you and I can take a lap around the horseshoe.
Right.
And try to find it pregame.
I would assume it has to be like a Stadium Series like helmet.
There's got to be something that they're
it can't be a Flyers only or a Devils only.
Yeah, there's got to be something cool that they're giving out.
That's the case. I'm going to be eating ice cream in the cold.
So when I went to the 2 outdoor games, the one at Fenway and the one at CBP, they had the seat cushions were part of the giveaways. I still have them somewhere. They're in my garage. I wonder if they will have the same thing for this. Now, considering those were baseball stadiums, 40,000 seats and 29,000 seats versus 82,000 seats at this one, it's going to cost them more to make that many, but that'd be pretty cool if that's one of the things they give away.
A seat cushion? I'm putting that right on the seat I'm getting.
Yeah. Maybe blankets. Thought about buying one at Rally House.
A throw? A nice little throw? Dude, I'm
when
excited.
I went to the World Series as a kid, we had we had a blanket.
I'm excited.
Not a horrible idea.
Especially for how cold it's going to get and potential snow.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. It's going to be good.
Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up this week? And our next meeting will be Saturday.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
LeBron heading to Golden State was thrown in the air at the very end.
I was so every day I leave the TV on for Benny because I think he actually is entertained when he's got the TV and some sound, and otherwise he's bored. I leave ESPN on for him because I was leaving and I look up and they're doing, I think it's Get Up, the thing with Greenberg and all the other morons. On the screen, I swear to God, I was going to take a picture of it, but I was running late. It says across the screen, did LeBron James make a mistake not accepting trade to Warriors? I'm like, ESPN is so doomed without football, it's not even funny. They got to talk about LeBron's resume and his... Oh, did you see the picture of Nick Wright, by the way?
Man, he looks
like a goblin. I'm not exactly eye candy, but he looks like... I think I've pooped things that have been prettier than him.
That's gross. Yo, his... And I'm one to talk, obviously.
I'm obviously.
His
it takes
hairline is
pot nose kettle in this.
His nose is fucking is all over the place.
It was an unflattering angle. Shout out to whoever puts his makeup on, because he looks normal sometimes for his show.
Dare I say he has to go back to the buzz cut? I think that was his best.
He looks ridiculous with this. I thought the long hair was the COVID.
It was when he kept it. A lot of people kept the COVID hair.
Yeah.
I had one, but it was a Jufro.
I was getting haircuts in the back of a GNC store during COVID. I grew the mustache out though.
Did you now? I don't remember. Should have grew a beard out. Let's see.
Well, I did. I grew the beard out, but when I shaved it, I have a picture of myself with a mustache.
You went Travis Kelce in the beginning of the season.
Oh, by the way, shout out to some dude on Twitter that alerted me that League Pass is free. If
Really?
I filled out the Jason Tatum, what shoes should he wear for the All-Star game, and I got a year of League Pass for free. That's the screenshot I sent you earlier. So,
oh yes.
If anybody wants to pay me $10 for the login, my DMs are open.
I forgot to ask you. What do I?
It doesn't work. You can't do it now. They nerfed it. You can use my login. I get 3 devices at a time. So.
Damn it! All right.
I don't even know that many people.
Text it to me after this.
Absolutely.
I'll be watching instead of like streaming, Sixers. I can actually watch.
But any predictions for Saturday? You want to build a same game parlay here on the podcast? Give me a anytime goal scorer.
I couldn't name you. Trippit.
Trippit. All right, beautiful.
And a 3-2.
Will we see
3-2 Flyers?
Okay. Will we get a Frank the Tank sighting in the flesh? I wonder if we can run it. If we can. He's a Devils fan. Yeah, really? He does the Prudential Center food review. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, we'll see him. I
hope we see him there. I hope we see him. He's going to be wearing his jorts. Hopefully, Mike Francesa is with him.
His jorts in the winter would be crazy.
His jorts, his fanny pack with the chicken nuggets in it.
I'm afraid to ask for a picture. if I do
Oh,
see him.
I would love to get a picture with Frank the
I
Tank.
would love it, but
He's the only barstool ball knower.
I'm so nervous to ask.
Oh, I would ask him in
Someone
a
has to
heartbeat.
ask for me. It's my birthday.
I got you. Don't worry.
Frank the Tank. I can't
This will be
wait.
fun. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be memorable.
Yeah, this is a bucket list thing. Where I'm excited. Hopefully, going to be able to knock out 2 bucket list things this year. I've said on the pod to you and to you separately. You know, the World Cup is on my bucket list,
Yes.
regardless of if it's Senegal versus China. It if I want to go to if it's USA
Guys will be a
versus
cheap ticket.
England, July 4th. Yeah, right. July 4th they play a game at the link. I wonder if it'll be USA versus England.
Who, men? The men?
Yeah, the men's play July 4th, 2026. They play a game at the link. That's one of the dates they announced for Philly.
I can see that.
But that's on my list. The what's it called? The MLB All-Star Game / Home Run Derby that same year is coming here.
Home Run Derby.
When I was a kid, I said if WrestleMania ever comes back to Philly when I'm an adult, regardless if I know anybody, I want to go. I'm trying to get into it. Obviously, we're watching. And outdoor Flyers game. Also on the list. So
On top of
bang, 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 bang. Knocking it all out.
On top of the MLB stadium tours you're doing this season.
Yes. Yeah, we got our
gonna be a
plane
good
tickets and our Cubs tickets. So very exciting.
The last thing you need to do on that bucket list of yours, get your butts into
Just
the
die.
post office and get yourself some passports. We got to hit Toronto.
Yeah.
Got to hit Toronto.
Well, if they had Otani, it would have been better. Well, I don't think the Phillies go there this year. They go there probably next year, is my guess. So the passport, we've been saying every month for the last
I have it. I'm ready.
15 months. We've been saying we got to get the passports ready. Yeah.
And when do the show come out? Later this month?
April, I want to say.
It's in April?
It comes out right around opening day every year. Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of
so
sucks.
I guess there's like a preview then, because it's on my Xbox, but I have to like wait for a certain day to get
Oh, yeah, there's like a beta or something that'll come out. There's that. And then we get the NCAA college game. The football game comes out in May. Or it comes out in probably July. We get a full reveal in May, though.
I know you're excited.
I can't wait. And WWE 2K comes out soon,
All
too,
right.
also.
What are you doing end of April? Are you like traveling?
If I'm alive. I don't think so.
Jesus. Dodgers at Blue Jays.
Well, I don't have a passport.
Get a passport like now. Expedite that bitch. Holy mess. It's a 3 o'clock, a 1 o'clock. It's only 7 o'clock game. 7, 3, and 1 in that order. Definitely doing the 7 o'clock game. Oh, Robert. I'm going. I'm probably just gonna go get myself a ticket.
Do it.
Book myself a 1-room suite up in center field. Be like,
Oh, you get the Jason Worth suites.
yes,
Jason Worth had a ball up there once.
dude. That's
Is Rogers Center the same venue as Skydome?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think so.
Home of WrestleMania 6.
Rogers Center with the RE, not the ER.
Yeah, stupid Canada. Everything's
Isn't it?
backwards, metric system, all that, the whole 9 meters.
All right. We've hit the 1 minute and 30 mark, I believe.
Perfect.
Of,
That's it.
episode
Minute 30.
142.
Go.
This is the Super Bowl hangover episode.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, guys. And tune in. Stadium Series this Saturday. Flyers, Devils at MetLife Stadium will be in attendance, and it's my birthday. Yeah.
We got to get the Flyers goal horn as one of our soundboard sounds now.
All right, guys. See you next week. And Tuesday 10 at Tuesdays. Adios.